各位朋友们，大家好，安安大家好，我是苏探，欢迎来到今天的特别节目。这一次我有邀请乌克兰的国会议员Kira Rudyk 来参加我们的关于乌克兰局势的节目。我们热烈欢迎Kira. Kira, welcome to today's show. Thank you so much for letting me have this interview with you. Oh my God, this is a gun.
Right.
So you're still in Kyiv, and as I understand and as I see, many of the members of parliaments are holding guns, and men are fighting like when you don't have sessions inside of the parliament. As a Ukrainian parliamentarian, can you just give a short recap on what's going on right now? How is Kyiv doing? Are you safer than before? And is Ukrainian army protecting? And what are the news from the front?
Hello, thank you for having me. So today is the 10th day of the war that Russia started on Ukraine. For the first couple of days, the whole world said, you Ukrainians do not stand a chance. Russia has one of the most dangerous and largest armies in the world, and they will take all of you in 48 hours. So today is the 10th day. Watch us. There is no major city in Ukraine that has been taken by the Russian army, and we are killing Russian soldiers on our soil who came to conquer us. For the 10 days, 10,000 Russian soldiers have been killed by Ukrainian army and by the resistance groups. At the very first day of war, I, as Ukrainian parliamentary and leader of the Holos Party, decided to bear arms. I created my own resistance unit, and we are helping our army to fight Russians and to protect our families, our homes, our cities, and our motherland. This is what Ukrainians should do, and this is what we are doing. We are kicking Putin's ass, and we are doing it very well. So thank you so much. And Putin right now is raising the stakes. He is bombing the civilians. He has bombed the nuclear plant. He is bombing the TV towers. So he is creating the situation where the whole world should see that he is a liar, a tyrant, and there should not be peaceful negotiations with him, because he will just continue trying to rebuild Russian Empire, to rebuild Soviet Union, and take what he thinks it's his. But we are giving him a very good fight. And right now, Kyiv, as the capital of Ukraine, is waiting for a huge portion of Russian army that is coming to take over us. They prepare for a siege, and so do we. We prepare to make sure that we have enough supplies, food, water, and that he cannot starve us out. And we are training to fight, so when the Russian soldiers come, we will be ready. So this is the short recap, but I'm sure there are more of the questions.
Yeah, well, first of all, Ukrainian army really does kick ass. I have been following the whole situation in Mykolaiv, how bravely were Ukrainian soldiers fighting against those Russian invaders. And Russia's actions, they're war criminals. They're shooting at civilians, they're bombing hospitals, they're bombing residential areas, they're bombing churches, they're bombing people who are trying to flee the country, they're shooting at the cars with civilians. It's unacceptable. And what all the world can see is that on the ground, Ukrainian army is performing great. You're much stronger, you're brave, you're protecting your land, your democracy, and the whole Europe, the whole European family, our values and our ways of life. But what I think and what I see, where Russia outperforms Ukraine, is in the sky. They're constantly bombing your country from the sky. And that's why President Zelensky also said that it is crucial to impose the no-fly zone over Ukraine. As a Ukrainian MP, can you give a couple of words about the importance of the no-fly zone and what should NATO and EU countries do to help?
So you're right. Even if we fight as brave as we do on land, for the last 10 days, Russian air forces have been bombarded our cities. And I can protect myself with my Kalashnikov rifle, but I cannot protect myself from the missile or rocket that is coming from the air to my home. This is why it's so important for us to get the help from our allies. So Putin says, forget your aim to join NATO, to join the European Union, and I will stop all of this. And we are saying, no, it is written in our constitution, and we will do whatever Ukrainian people want, not whatever you want. And in this matter, it's so important that NATO, whom we want to join, create the protection for Ukraine. Because if we don't get it, the chances of us winning this war, they are still high, but they are at a longer time. And we don't have time because every single day we are paying for this time with our lives, with our blood. We do really need stronger force as NATO, as the United States, to protect our skies, to give us, because even if we get all the money in the world, we cannot build the system to protect ourselves as fast as we need. That's why we need to have the countries that do have this to use their planes to shoot the Russian planes. NATO countries and European Union, and they are all saying, oh, this may start this third world war. We don't want to be involved. We can support you guys, but this is very scary and dangerous. So my answer
but the war
to this,
already started. The third world war already started. Putin will not stop. Will not stop after Ukraine.
He wouldn't stop, but he was very adamant about that. He said, I'm rebuilding Russian Empire. So he was very adamant. He said, the Poland is next. The Baltic countries are next. He was not hiding his plans. And that's why it's important for us as politicians to persuade NATO countries to get involved. Because my feeling is that they will get involved, but it will be too late for Ukraine. Our cities will be destroyed and our people will be killed. And we could be as brave as possible, but when you are fighting against the plane in the sky, it's very hard to do for a plain person. For a plain soldier.
Putin will gain your strategic resources that will be also used against NATO, but just later. So we'd better protect you right now than wait till he just occupies a huge country of Ukraine.
This is what I was saying. So do you NATO countries really want to have Russian satellite at the center of Europe that controls like the third export of grains in the world and the second export of sunflower oil in the world? He would just have like, along with gas and oil, he will have now our resources. The second question that is to persuade our allies is the nuclear threat. So Putin is crazy. He was bombing the nuclear plant, the largest nuclear plant in Europe. And as a person who lived next to Chernobyl for 30 years, I can tell you, nobody, not a single person in the world wants this to be repeated. And radiation does not care which passport you are holding. Are you a NATO member? Are you not a NATO member? Are you in EU? Are you India? Are you Arab Emirates? Whatever. It just will be there and it will create a huge tragedy for the whole world. And Putin should be stopped because he is crazy. He is acting crazy. There is no person in the world who would be bombing the nuclear plant because this person would care at least for his or her own safety. And Putin does that. And Putin does this with no regret. And what is the Western countries do after that? They condemned him. And then United Nations sent a very angry note. So this is not how it should be. This is not enough. He needs to be stopped with all the forces that the West gets now, because the war is not anymore Russia versus Ukraine. It has never been. This is the war between the past that Putin wants to drag us and the future where we want to be. European Union, digital economy, digital country. Look, Ukraine is the first country in the world with the digital passports and digital IDs. We were moving to the future. We were moving to so far away from Russia. Second, this is a war between tyranny and freedom. We want to be free. We don't want any other country to tell us what to do. This is the fight between ability of the countries to decide their own will and people do the free market, the free economy, joining whatever they want, free speech, all the liberal values that we value so much. And look what happens in Russia right now. Russia is a just failed state. And Putin wants to drag us into this failed state. Why? We don't want to go there. So our children now need to suffer because we don't want to go to the failed state. So this is the war between good guys and bad guys. And if the good guys are all on the same side, then I don't understand why can't we get the support from our allies? We are fighting this war together. So we need to get the support because we are the shield of Europe right now. We are the country that shields Europe from all this devastation.
You have been a shield of Europe for 8 years already, since 2014, when Putin occupied Crimea and sent his troops to Donbas areas, even though not official Russian army, but former members of Russian army. It's the same thing.
Right. So right now, when we are still fighting, we are saying we don't want anybody, we don't demand anybody to fight for us. We will do it ourselves, but support us where we need it. Would support us where you can do it. Please do it now. Do it before it is too late.
And talking about support, I do think that the NATO, first of all, you should be allowed into NATO ASAP. Secondly, the no-fly zone should be imposed, because it is not the fight only. It's not only about Ukraine, it's about the whole democratic world. It's all about all the countries with the similar values, no matter in Asia, in Europe, or in America. And talking about Asia, right now, Taiwan, most of my viewers are Taiwanese. Taiwan decided to join sanctions against Russia and to help Ukraine, to support Ukraine officially from the governmental point of view. But there are also people in Taiwan on the ground, some of them with military experiences, who have been asking me, what can we do to help Ukraine? What are the options? We can donate money, that's one option, but what else? So Kira, could you just say, from the people to people point of view, what can Taiwanese do to help Ukraine, to support you in this war against tyranny?
Thank you so much, first of all, for the sanction being imposed on Russia. That was a badass move, and I do really support the Taiwanese government for doing that. And I do really thank to all the people of Taiwan for the support that Ukrainians are getting. You wouldn't even believe how much it means to have a good word from the place where you have never been, but where there are people who are struggling for you and who are supporting you with their hearts. So if you just send your fellow Ukrainians good words, it will be a very motivating and supporting us in our fight. We, of course, are very thankful for all the financial and medical aid. You can come and fight with us. So Ukrainian government right now allows the foreigners to come in and bear arms. But if you don't feel like you can bear arms or travel so far, there is a cyber army that we formed, where we are taking down Russian websites that are creating propaganda. We are taking down the Russian governmental sites. We are taking down lots of many useful resources that can make Russia weaker and help us fight stronger. So
Taiwan has a very strong IT. Yeah.
Yes,
so,
I do know that my background is in IT before the politics. So that's why I'm saying this. This is where you can join us. Plus, you can go out on the streets on the protests. This is something that has been very supportive for Ukrainian people when we see peoples of the world coming out with Ukrainian flags and saying, we are with Ukraine. This is creating this feeling for the NATO countries that the whole world is supporting us, and they are being passive about it, and they need to be more active. So this is the collective pressure that needs to happen, and this is what we are doing. So if we have the no-fly zone over Ukraine, we will definitely win this war. Then we will celebrate together, because we will be able to develop the world and create it to a better place. This is what I'm truly believing, and I'm so thankful for people of Taiwan for all their help and the support at this time. We will not forget this, believe me.
Thank you so much, Kira. Thank you so much for these warm words. And I really do hope that the people all around the world will unite in their support to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!